Many countries are marked with extreme, weird distributions of their population among their territory. Stay tuned as we investigate the causes behind such phenomena. Let's first discuss population density and distribution before moving on to individual nations. But before we do, please like and subscribe for more fascinating material from TubeGeo. A distribution of a population is measured per unit of area, usually square kilometers, in what is known as population density. Conversely, distribution describes how these individuals are dispersed throughout that region in varying density. A density of a population may vary greatly within a state or region. The urban centers are typically known for higher densities compared to rural or suburb areas. Searching for the common triggers behind such variation takes us on a journey starting from the USA. For instance, the eastern seaboard of the United States is renowned for having a comparatively high population density. This includes states like New York City, Boston, and Washington, D.C. Population densities in metropolitan centers can reach high ranges between 1,000 to 12,000 persons per square kilometer, with Manhattan, New York having one of the highest concentrations nationwide. The population density range goes down as we move towards the Midwest. States like Ohio, Michigan, and Illinois, this is especially true at the level of rural areas, while those in urban centers like Chicago have density ranges from 1,000 to 5,000 people per square kilometer. Going further west towards states such as Los Angeles and San Francisco, the density of population ranges from 1,000 to 6,000 persons per square kilometer. Furthermore, the densities in sparsely populated rural areas such as Wyoming and Montana can be even lower. Examining the above shows that numerous factors are important in determining how the population is distributed. This includes geography, climate, available resources, and historical developments. Let's get out of the US and examine a few other nations to examine what causes have produced distinctive population distributions. Moving north from the US is Canada, a country known for its expansive landscapes and breathtaking natural beauty. Unlike the US, it enjoys a highly diversified ethnicity. Check out the linked video where we talk about the US population by ethnicity. The Canadian population is not evenly distributed. The majority of Canadians live in the southern areas near the US border. Such a distinct concentration in the south may be attributed to the harsh winters and difficult terrain of the north. Canada has a distinct population distribution pattern. Population densities in cities like Toronto and Vancouver can vary from 1,000 to 4,000 persons per square kilometer. Main contributing factors include climate, economic opportunities, and infrastructure. Furthermore, roads, trains, and other means of transportation benefit southern Canada by facilitating the transportation of people and products. Moving to the east side of our beautiful globe, and just like Canada, Russia is the largest country in the world in terms of land area. The country, distinct for having 11 time zones, has the majority of its population concentrated in its western regions, especially in and around Moscow, despite its enormous size. The severe cold and harsh Siberian environment, coupled with inadequate infrastructure in the east, are the primary causes behind its glaring disparity in population distribution. The Siberian region consists a sizable chunk of Russia's landmass and is unsuitable for widespread settlements given its extremely low temperatures. Widespread habitation in this area has historically been discouraged by the unforgiving environment and inadequate infrastructure. Apart from that, historically, Russia's western region has had more advanced infrastructure. Compared to other areas, the population density of Moscow varies widely. It counts to more than 4,500 persons per square kilometer. People have gathered in this area as a result of economic opportunities, the subsequent population growth, and the fact that it's the nation's capital and oldest city. Moscow played a key role in drawing people and resources to Western concentration. The same may be said for cities like St. Petersburg. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Moving on to the furthest southeast lies a country that celebrates Happy New Year's during summer. Australia has large tracts and is sparsely populated. The majority of Australians reside in urban areas along the eastern and southern coasts. This particular population distribution is largely caused by the harsh desert environment Scarcity of water resources. Given its large deserts and unique ecosystems, the distribution of its population is influenced by its harsh interior, coastal appeal, and historical development. Arid deserts predominate Australia's central region. Such factor, when coupled with severe climate and scarcity of water supplies, renders long-term human habitation difficult. Arid deserts predominate Australia's central region. Such factor, when coupled with severe climate and scarcity of water supplies, renders long-term human habitation difficult. Moreover, a temperate climate and across to the ocean give Australia's eastern and southern coasts more advantageous conditions. These coastal regions are home to major cities like Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. Such cities draw in a sizable portion of the population. Population densities in urban areas along the southern and eastern coasts range from 500 to 1,500 persons per square kilometer. Further to climate and environmental considerations, the historical development has had its share in influencing the concentration of population along Australia's coasts. This time, it's Northern Africa, and a country distinguished for its ancient history. Egypt exhibits an intriguing pattern that is influenced by its location, historical developments, and economic factors. Egypt's population is mostly centered at the Delta and Nile River Valley. For decades, Egyptians have relied heavily on the Nile to maintain a fertile and well-irrigated soil for agriculture and to develop its civilization. The area around the Nile Delta, where the river fans out into multiple channels before reaching the Mediterranean Sea, is densely populated. Cities like Cairo and Alexandria reflect such pattern of distribution. Such a concentration along the Nile proves that water is essential to life in Egypt's arid climate. The Nile River resembles life to Egyptians. It has been and still is a primary mean of transportation, a mean of substance, and the primary source for agricultural irrigation. To the south of Russia lies a nation famous for its spices. Several factors influence the distribution of the population in India, including the extent to which the land is agriculturally fertile. Zooming in, one of the most populated states in India is Uttar Pradesh, with a current average population density of about 828 persons per square. Economic opportunity and urbanization levels persist to be the major drivers behind such distribution patterns. When it comes to urbanization, a sizable section of the population is drawn to major urban cities like Delhi, Kolkata, and Mumbai. The population density of such cities is influenced by infrastructure development, educational opportunities, and economic factors. Aside from that, the distribution of the population is influenced by India's geographical diversity, which includes deserts in the west and mountainous areas in the north. These places typically have lower population densities because of their difficult topography. In climate, this includes the northern mountains regions and the western Thar Desert when compared to areas surrounded by the Ganges River basin. Heading north from India and beyond the Himalayan mountains lies China, a densely populated country with an uneven distribution. The majority of people live in the eastern coastal regions, especially those near the Yangtze River. Population densities in urban areas of cities such as Shanghai can reach over 3,800 persons per square kilometer. The fertile plains of these areas, employment opportunities, and historical economic development all play a major factor in this. China's economic development has been led by the eastern coastal regions, which include Beijing and Shanghai. These places have drawn a sizable population due to urbanization, industries, and employment opportunities. Next is agriculture fertility, as the Yangtze River's fertile plains offer ideal farming conditions, which promotes settlement. The importance of agriculture in this area has influenced the population density during its past and present. Finally, it's the infrastructure and development. The eastern regions have seen a greater influx of investment in infrastructure, including communication and transportation networks. This has made it easier for people and goods to move around, which was supported the concentration of population in these thriving economic areas. Our final destination moves us back to the American continent, this time a country famous for its coffee beans and football enthusiasm. Located in the southern part of the American continent, the majority of people live in Brazil's coastal regions, especially in and around the cities of São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. This is attributed to the difficult terrain and the size of the interior Amazon rainforest. Brazil has a fascinating population distribution with a noticeable concentration near its coast. Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo are two major cities in this pattern. Brazil's most industrialized and urbanized areas are located in the southeast and coastal regions. Population densities in such urban areas can vary from 2,000 to 7,000 persons per square kilometer. A sizable fraction of the population is drawn to cities like São Paulo given the economic activity and employment opportunities. Further to the previously mentioned factors, the distribution of the Brazilian population has been shaped by historical events, such as the colonial era, as well as the legacy and role played by significant cities along the coastal side. In the past, the difficult topography, thick forests, and inadequate infrastructure have discouraged widespread settlement in regions like the Amazon rainforest. Today, few people inhabit Brazil's interior area like the Amazons. By the end of our journey, it's clear that a variety of factors influence our decisions about where to live. This includes proximity to the ocean and sea, climate, geography, economic history, and the trend of the masses. Please remember to hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and share in the comments below which country's population distribution surprised you the most. Until we meet again, this is TubeGeo. Please take care.